Moreover, the information sought by the subpoenas is wildly disproportionate to the needs of the case and unnecessarily invades the privacy of untold numbers of third parties, including family, friends, business partners, and quite literally any other person with whom any of the targets have communicated with over a period of years.
6 in this lawsuit says the dangerous climate of threats, harassment, and intimidation fueled by the defendant's retaliation campaign has required Ms. Lively to alter her personal and professional life.
That is vastly disproportionate to the case's needs and unjustly invade the privacy of countless third parties, including family, friends, business partners, and virtually anyone who has communicated with the targets over the years. This overreach poses a serious threat to personal and professional privacy without justification.
And Brian Friedman knows how to fight back against a bully. Trust me. And he started telling everybody Justin Baldoni's side. He told us that Justin Baldoni denied those claims of sexual harassment and only tried to appease Blake Lively because she was such a high-maintenance diva bully brat. He had to bend over backwards just to get her to shut up and complete the film. He told us that Justin Baldoni claims she tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it. I want all the roles for me and only me. I want full control because I am a controlling...
Fiasco continues to set the internet ablaze, with everyone eagerly watching each side's latest moves in this intense PR battle. So, what's the update? Team Blake has been struggling as damning evidence against her keeps surfacing. In response, she appears to be trying different tactics, one of which includes a fellow actress filing an absurd lawsuit. Over the past few weeks, public sentiment has largely shifted in Justin Baldoni's favor. Initially, fans were quick to defend Blake, especially since she was believed to be the victim. However, as events unfolded, she revealed a less sympathetic side. Justin's well-documented receipts only made matters worse, chipping away at any remaining support for Blake. As the drama continues to unfold, Megyn Kelly provided a no-nonsense take on the situation, breaking it down in a straightforward manner for those trying to keep up with the ever-evolving scandal.
And what they showed is that Blake Lively has got a bit of a god complex. She's texting Justin Baldoni about how she sees herself as Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, Mother of Dragons. Did you watch that? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So Khaleesi is stunningly beautiful. She's this effervescent, strong character with temerity and resilience, and she's fierce. She's literally the Mother of Dragons in Game of Thrones. That's her. That's me. That's Blake. And she says, and I've got the greatest dragons on earth, Ryan Reynolds and my best friend, who is Taylor Swift, though she's not named or they blacked it out. So she's telling him, I'm Mother of Dragons and my dragons will cut a bitch. And my dragons are named Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. So the message is...
A bully. Trust me. He's been vocal in supporting Justin Baldoni, making sure everyone hears his side of the story. According to Friedman, Baldoni has denied all allegations of sexual harassment, claiming he only tried to appease Blake Lively because she was an unbearable diva. He described her as a demanding, high-maintenance bully who forced him to go to extreme lengths just to keep the film on track. Friedman also revealed that Baldoni believes Lively attempted to take over his movie entirely. Allegedly, she has a pattern of agreeing to star in films but secretly aiming for complete control, wanting to direct, edit, and produce it herself. He painted her as someone obsessed with power, unwilling to share creative space with others, and determined to have everything revolve around her. In his words, she's nothing short of a controlling bully.
As soon as camera was called out, she's talking to him as Blake, trying to give a directive note. She started that, and he just followed her lead and explained, no, it's okay with the light behind me, it looks good, and so on and so on. Another really interesting thing about that moment is as he explains to her that it's nice for him to be in front of the light, and when he blocks it, he leans in and he gets really close to her ear, and he almost like whispers it to her very softly. And we might look at that and go, why did he say it like that? Why didn't he just tell her? And there's a very good reason for this. They're both very aware of the fact that we're only going to use the visuals of this, not what they're saying. So to get this shot, their body language needs to communicate. Ryle and Lily having this slow dance, But it's okay to be talking about other stuff as long as they could get the visuals.
Calling out Blake for having a god complex, which she believes is evident in Blake referring to herself as Cage from Game of Thrones. She highlighted Justin's claims that while Blake might insist she was merely praising the support of those around her, the reality is far more calculated. According to him, her words were nothing more than a thinly veiled threat, meant to intimidate and manipulate rather than express gratitude. Megan emphasized that this kind of behavior isn't new for Blake, pointing out how she has allegedly used similar tactics in the past to maintain control over narratives. She argued that no one is buying Blake's explanation, as the public has grown increasingly skeptical of her intentions. As the controversy rages on, more people are beginning to question whether Blake's carefully crafted public persona is just a facade hiding a more ruthless and controlling side.
This is very common in Hollywood productions. I can't tell you how often I filmed projects either as a consultant or in front of the camera, and when we were filming something that we knew only the visuals matter, we need to communicate something visually, we're talking about completely unrelated stuff, as long as we know the visuals get across. So in this case, he's following her lead. She started talking about, they're dancing, she started talking about where they should stand, and he just responded while still giving the camera the visuals that they need for this.
What they revealed is that Blake Lively seems to have quite the god complex. She texted Justin Baldoni, comparing herself to Game of Thrones' Khaleesi, the mother of dragons. If you've watched the show, you know exactly what that means. Daenerys Targaryen is a stunningly beautiful, strong, and resilient character, fierce in every way. And Blake? Well, according to her, she is Khaleesi. She went on to say that she has the greatest dragons on Earth, Ryan Reynolds and her best friend, who is strongly believed to be Taylor Swift, though the name was blacked out in the messages. In essence, she was telling Baldoni, "I'm the mother of dragons, and my dragons will destroy you." The message couldn't be clearer. Blake was flexing her power, warning him that she had influential allies ready to back her up. It wasn't just a comparison. It was a statement of dominance.
This little bit of a faint smile, but there is tightness around the nose and around the mouth, and it doesn't look like a super relaxed smile. And finally, we do see that she is a little leaned back, and at first, he's a little more leaned towards her. But the moment he notices this kind of bit of a disengagement, notice what he does. He also disengages. So what we're seeing here is a dance, pun intended, where she's saying something, he's leaning in to whisper in her ear, she's backing up, he's backing up in response.
Even weighed in on Blake's claim that Justin acted inappropriately during a scene without an audio recording. However, Justin later released the footage, explaining that the entire purpose of the scene was to create the illusion of a close, intimate moment between the characters. The analyst's insights further questioned Blake's accusations.
Now, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have been in the news a lot, and Ryan Reynolds, we want to know, was that an improv or was it scripted, his little piece he did?
That was actually, he had a different line in rehearsal, and he pitched that to replace it. So that was his idea to do it.
It was Ryan's idea. I just don't know. I feel like we deserve something. We deserve an award for just sniffing that out. Like, he is a true...
Cameras of this moment would be used, not the audio. To sell the scene, their body language had to convey Riley and Lily sharing a slow, intimate dance, even if their actual conversation was unrelated to the romantic context being filmed.
This week, the Lively parties issued subpoenas to cellular providers AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, seeking, quote, all documents concerning ingoing and ongoing calls or text messages related to phone number, and then it's blocked out, belonging to each of the individual Wayfarer parties, some of their employees, and various non-party individuals, including but not limited to call logs, text logs, data logs, and cell site location information. The subpoenas seek such information over a period of multiple years, in most cases spanning from December 1st, 2022 to the present. It is hard to overstate how broad, invasive, and atypical these subpoenas truly are. This is civil litigation, not a criminal prosecution, and the Lively parties are not the FBI. Yet the subpoenas seek not only the complete call and text history of each of the targets over a period of several years, no matter the sender, recipient, or subject matter, but also over the same period, real-time location information and data logs reflecting, among other things, web browsing history. This would include, of course, materials protected from disclosure by a laundry list of statutes.
Acting inappropriately, he was simply doing his job. While their conversation was casual, the focus was on the visuals, which were meant to create an intimate moment for the film. His actions were purely professional, aligning with the scene's intended portrayal.
In public, Mr. Baldoni gave the appearance of taking responsibility for the fact that he had, quote, unconsciously been hurting and silencing women in his life and implored men to be man enough to, quote, shut the hell up and listen to women. He claimed that he wanted to end toxic masculinity, acknowledging his own toxic behavior by admitting that, quote, there is a woman or two that I in some way made uncomfortable by saying something or doing something that was chauvinistic or sexist. There is 1,000,000% probability that that exists, pardon.
In Hollywood productions. I can't tell you how many times I've worked on projects, whether as a consultant or in front of the camera, where only the visuals mattered. In those cases, we could be talking about completely unrelated topics as long as the scene conveyed the right emotions. In this instance, Justin was simply following Blake's lead. She initiated the conversation about their positioning during the dance scene, discussing where they should stand. He responded naturally while still maintaining the visual performance needed for the film. His focus remained on ensuring the slow dance between Lily and Riley looked authentic on camera.
I've had to take a real honest look at the ways that I've unconsciously been hurting the women in my life. And it's ugly. My wife told me that I had been acting in a certain way that hurt her and not correcting it. Basically, sometimes when she would go to speak, at home or in public, I would just cut her off mid-sentence and finish her thought for her. It's awful. The worst part was that I was completely unaware when I was doing it. It was unconscious. So here I am doing my part, trying to be a feminist, amplifying the voices of women around the world, and yet at home, I am using my louder voice to silence the woman I love the most. So I had to ask myself a tough question. Am I man enough to just shut the hell up and listen?
Acknowledging that Blake didn't seem entirely comfortable, so she may have had a point. However, others noted that this highlighted the importance of having an intimacy coordinator, something she had actually refused for the production.
And the takeaway from this film?
I want men, first of all, I want men to stop asking the question, why do women stay?
Yeah.
Right? I want men to take accountability. I want men to hold other men accountable. And in this particular film, I want men to go to the theater and in some way see a version of themselves. You have two very different characters. Both of them, in Atlas and Ryle, have had past trauma. One handles it very different than the other. And my other hope is that the men who have not done the work, to heal, if they see bits of themselves in Ryle, have a chance to step back and say, you know what, I don't want to blow up my life. I don't want to hurt the person I love the most. I need to get help. I need to feel all these things that I've buried so deep down so that it doesn't explode on somebody that I love. And hopefully that can create some compassion and empathy and make the world a safer place.
This lawsuit says the dangerous climate of threats, harassment, and intimidation fueled by the defendant's retaliation campaign has required Ms. Lively to alter her personal and professional life and to take steps to protect innocent bystanders rather than exposing them to further harm. So she's now using this to explain away why no one's joining in on her lawsuit, okay? They're setting that up right at the beginning. Essentially, no one's going to join in, but just so you know, this is to protect them. I'm going to explain to you why that's absolutely BS. It goes on and reads, thus, this amended complaint does not refer to certain witnesses by name, nor does it provide screenshots of their text messages. Importantly, however, these witnesses have given Ms. Lively permission to share the substance of their communications. in this amended complaint as contained herein, and they will testify and produce responsive documents in the discovery process. Okay, let's just pause to make sure everybody understands what's happening here, because they think we are so stupid, okay? I'm not going to include them in here because I'm going to protect them. But down the line, I'm going to subpoena them and force them against their will, which means that they are not willing participants and that you don't have their support, because the reality is